I keep saying, don't start a new line. Don't start a new line. Here I go starting a new line. Well, an existing line. I had other figures from Star Wars, but here I'm digging deeper and deeper into Star Wars classic action figures. And it's kind of weird of me doing this when it's a time when Star Wars figures from Hasbro are not as popular as they used to. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. Let's look at the Phantom Menace 3-pack. So the Phantom Menace 3-pack comes with Obi-Wan Kenobi, a new version of Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon Jinn. It's an exclusive set to GameStop, and it has shipped in the UK and in Canada, but it appears that it's not quite there yet in the US. Like I mentioned, Darth Maul is a new sculpt. The other two were released before, but they have new facial paint, which is improved. If you've been collecting for a while, you may have Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi already, but Darth Maul is new. However, you may have some older version of Darth Maul. Apparently, the older version of this figure was not popular with collectors. They come with tons of soft goods and their lightsabers. None of them have other weapons like guns. The question is, should you go out and get these new recasts or characters that have been released several times by Hasbro and even other companies, or should you just skip it? If you're like me, you've never had those figures before. Well, I had an old Darth Maul years ago, but that was before Hasbro, so you may want to start your collection right now. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi have not been available for a while. By the way, apologies for saying Qui-Gon Jinn. Apparently it's Qui-Gon Jinn. I've never watched the Phantom Menace film, if you can believe it. I know that's sacrilegious. Sorry about that. I just like the characters. I like plastic. I think they look good, and that's why I bought them. I don't know the lore. Yes, I know it's a sacrilege. I don't know the lore from Star Wars. Wow. I'm a G.I. Joe, Transformers, DC, Marvel guy. I'm sorry. I don't know all fandoms. Well, the first thing with Qui-Gon Jinn that we can see is that he's wearing that hoodie thing, so that soft good thing. When we pull it out, we can see his ponytail and several layers. The younger Obi-Wan Kenobi has the same soft good hoodie. Again, we can see his ponytail in the back of his head, several layers on his uniform. And finally, Darth Maul, which is a new version of the character, a new cast, I should say. He sports another soft good hoodie, but several layers. You can't quite get his real shape with all the layers of soft good or other garment on top of him, which are made of plastic. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn has several articulations, as you can see. It's the same old from the past. The thing that has changed is the face. You have a thigh swivel, and the extension of the legs is good enough. Here I'm twisting the thighs. There is a double knee articulation, which is something of a rarity in today's Star Wars action figures. They don't have these, but he can't kick his ass. The front of his tunic gets in the way of his leg articulation, but that's a choice Hasbro made by giving us a plastic base. Overall, there's only one elbow articulation, but it can pivot, which is something they don't usually do. And, well, the hand, technically you could switch the hands, and it comes with a lightsaber. Nothing else. There's no other prop with the character. The face paint is new, obviously. The fabric really gets in the way and covers the entire figure. Now on to Obi-Wan Kenobi. If I could get this guy to stabilize a bit. Not easy. Now Obi-Wan Kenobi has the same soft good on him. Also articulation at the knees, ankles. A very good ball joint at the waist, but none in the torso. Well, Star Wars don't usually have them in the torso. You can see his ponytail. You can pull back the soft good overall that reveals the tunic. Underneath, can rotate the wrist a bit. It's a good figure overall. If you remove all those layers, you can see his shape a bit better. It is an older sculpt though, and there is a thigh swivel here underneath the tunic, and a generous double knee articulation, and allowing him to kick his own ass, which is rare with Star Wars action figures. It's good. Very good ankle articulation. Soft too, they're not brittle. Doesn't feel like it's gonna break on you. It's good enough. So it's a good figure, not much to say. And finally, good old Darth Maul. Now Darth Maul comes with that double lightsaber that can split. There's several layers on his tunic. It's like there's 2 layers plus the soft good on top of it. Now the articulations here are like the current Star Wars action figures, so they're more limited. He doesn't have double knee articulation. Obviously there's nothing in his torso, just a ball joint at the waist. You can see the sculpt underneath. He's got very good butterflies for the shoulders compared to the other figures. So So it is a new sculpt. You can spring back the lightsaber together, the split lightsaber. There you go. The face sculpt is good. I like it. The head is more fluid, more articulated than previous Star Wars action figures, so that's the benefit of a new figure. Now the knee articulation is a simple knee articulation, which means you can rotate that knee articulation. There is a thigh swivel above, but there's so many layers on this guy that it's very difficult to do anything with him. So yeah, you can twist the thighs, knee articulation, rotation. It's a good figure overall. I was wondering if the old sculpt were using the same sleeves on both characters. They're not. See it better in a moment. There you go. Adjusted the lights. So yeah, they're not the same sculpt, and that's good because Qui-Gon Jinn is much taller than the other characters in this pack, and you can see this with Luke Skywalker, which is tiny compared to him. I'll say that Qui-Gon Jinn is probably the scale of a Marvel Legend or a G.I. Joe action figure, so he's not the same 1/12 scale as we can see here. He's almost the same scale as this Cobra Trooper. This retro Cobra Trooper is the same scale as Qui-Gon Jinn. So this is the new Phantom Menace 3-pack. It's a good set, especially if you don't have those figures. They look good. The face paint are improved from way back. So this is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. Like and subscribe.